Hi and welcome to another tutorial video for the Institution of Health Science. In this tutorial video I'll be taking you through a few steps when it comes to connecting and communicating with new potential clients. If you've gone through the previous tutorials and you are now familiar with the use of our website, either thecircle2care.com or circle2care.co.za, I'm sure that you are pretty well familiar now with the product offering and what it is that we do. Now, the first landing point or discussion that you will have with your client is determining where their specific medical needs currently are, their future prediction for their own healthcare is, and potential areas where you can actually try and highlight and show them that they have not yet taken this into consideration, and just really make them understand that the investment into the Cell Quicken is not a short-term quick fix device. Not that we don't work very fast, obviously, but it's not a once-off, use it for a week and then you leave it in the cupboard. You need to make your client understand and aware of the fact that your body is constantly in a state of distress. We are constantly exposed to various chemicals, environmental factors, food, water, and all of these things are constantly gearing your body towards failure. On top of that, we've got this generic disposition called old age. That means your body is also constantly actually aging, and aging happens again through the process of mitosis. So if you've watched the previous clip, you understand that mitosis is where a specific cell that has a specific DNA and RNA composite actually replicates and duplicates from itself to then form a new or existing organ, functional system. So as you age, the information and the energy within these cells actually start deteriorating. It's that deterioration that then continues through the progression, and then we get gray hair, wrinkles, and all of the other factors associated with old age. So we are not here just to talk about frail care. I'm not here to introduce you to a product that's only for grandma and grandpa. I'm here to help you introduce a product to a potential client that will change their viewpoint when it comes to what healthiness is, the way to maintain it, and where they are currently heading. So the first few touch points that you'll have to discuss with your client is obviously their current state of health. So the majority of the time it's a very straightforward question, just how would you rate your general state of health? And well, the answer on this will vary depending on the reason for the meeting. So you might have someone that you've met now that has an existing condition, that understands that they need to take a different form of action, or they've exhausted all of the current medical avenues and they are now looking for an alternative. And well, that type of a client is a very easy client to communicate and connect with, because they've already made the shift. They already understand that current medical technology has reached a specific point and will no longer serve them. Hence, they are looking beyond the fence now. So they're already at a point where the only reason you're going to have to speak to them is just to make sure that they understand that this is an investment that will last them for the next 10 years. That the application of the technology is not scary, it's advanced, but it's easy to use. That doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your education level, doesn't matter what you were or what you do for a living. The use of the Cell Quicken is a very easy system and process. There is, however, one thing that they need to do, and that is to use it. That is the only prerequisite that we have with our product. You don't need to have a science degree. You don't even need to understand exactly what it is, what we do, but you need to use it. That is the basis of treatment. It's the frequency and the exposure to the enhancing frequencies to put your body back at a state of health, or then the breaking down or eradicating of specific diseases, ailments, viruses, and bacteria in your body, and the consistency of that use that will result in results. Now, obviously, the next thing and the following question usually is am I going to have to use this every day? Am I going to have to use this for the rest of my life? Well, the answer is yes, but I'd like to phrase that differently. Wouldn't you like to constantly be in an environment that is geared towards making you the best you? Yes? No? Maybe? Well, that's what the Cell Quicken will do for you. The Cell Quicken is not about taking medication and being sick. The Cell Quicken is about creating that environment that always promotes your happiness, your sustainability, and your health. So the Cell Quicken is the type of device that you would like to use for the rest of your life. Why? Because lifestyles are not promoting health. When was the last time you had a decent cooked meal and a healthy cooked meal? See, there's a very big difference between eating and eating. There's also a very big difference between drinking water and drinking water. Just to give you an example, oxygen. People down at the coast are exposed to higher levels of oxygen compared to people living up in Johannesburg or in Pretoria. So your oxygen levels around you, free radicals, electromagnetic energy all around us, the appliances you use, the type of work that you do, if you've got children, your husband, your work situation, your household, all of these environments are stressful. All of these will have an effect on you at some stage of your life. Now, the whole idea of the Cell Quicken is to create that state of bliss, to actually work and function on all of those different levels simultaneously every single day. Hence, it's not about being on treatment for the rest of your life, but it's about walking into an environment that is set up for the promotion of your happiness and well-being. So a client that has already made the mind shift over onto an alternative and a well-being approach, they're relatively easy to talk to. But now you get your second type of client. Now, these tend to be clients that have not previously really thought of their health, understand their health, or even think that they are unhealthy to start off with. So you would have to ask them a few questions, and some of them might be pushing boundaries. So obviously this will vary of your personality, your relationship with the client, and your comfort with the product. But I find that the more straightforward you are with your questions, without being offensive obviously, the easier it is to actually have the client make that mind shift. So when someone tells me that they are healthy, the first question I ask them is, how do you know? And well, how do you know? If you haven't seen a doctor, that doesn't necessarily make you healthy, now does it? It might just not have you aware of any conditions, but not having seen a doctor is not making you healthy. Not using any medication, again, does not make you healthy. It just mentions that you haven't started using chemical compounds to possibly fix problem areas within your body. So the lack of seeing a doctor and the lack of using medication is not indication of health. What is health? Now, according to the World Health Organization, health is the absence of then disease. So what is a disease? Now, in today's society, a disease can be absolutely anything. I mean, spending too much time on your phone, too much time at work, too much time in front of a TV, it's all at the end of the day, if you start looking at it, can be a disease. So being healthy is really difficult to maintain. Having health is something that we all strive for. So after questioning a client, but not interrogating a client in regards to their state of mind and what they understand about health, it will give you a broader idea of where they are in their understanding of health. So I will always lead off with the question where when I meet a potential client, I will either ask them what it is that brought them to the point where they would like to have a discussion, or what about the product made them or caused for them to then become intrigued by what it is that we offer. The majority of the time, the client will turn around and say, well, I'm not really that sick, and 5 minutes later they walk back into the living room with a box filled of 13 different tablets that they start taking, and all of a sudden the clients for the first time come to the realization that they might not be ill, but they are definitely not healthy. So that's usually my first starting point with a client. Then secondly is asking a client if they have any existing conditions or diagnoses that they are suffering from. Now, a lot of people will turn around and tell you something like restless legs. Now, restless legs is a very common ailment, and the cause for it is very clear, but also at the same time very unclear, and can easily be misdiagnosed. But the reality is that the diagnosis or the evidence of restless legs can really affect your life. It affects your sleep, it therefore then affects your mood, your ability, your performance, and everything else that goes with it. And this is something as simple as restless legs. Someone that has excessive snoring, again, less sleep equals emotional stress and strain at work. Someone that has a lot of sinus problems, same story, your sleep gets affected. Someone with asthma, even if it's not chronic asthma, but less oxygen in your body, again, deprived of energy. So it's about questioning a client and understanding where they are and what health is to them. Now, you'll get that client that is very adamant about the fact that they are extremely healthy. And I take my hat off to those clients. I've met them, and some of them are still, until today, some of our best clients. That person's healthy, why? Yes, they're healthy. Why? You don't just become healthy, you are healthy. And to be healthy means that you are taking specific precautions and actions to maintain that. And you will reach a certain point where it doesn't matter how good you eat, how often you exercise, where you will still be affected by the lifestyle that you live. You can still get cold and flu, you can still get a migraine, you will still get a rash, you can still get something like malaria, you can still be bitten by a spider, you can still have fever, sleep issues, stress, emotional stress and physical stress as well. And then you might just have a client that says, you know what, I'm healthy, but I want to start performing the way I used to perform 10 or 15 years ago. Again, as we age, we start losing some of our ability and our functionality. That's what the CellQuicken can restore. So it's really about connecting with your client, understanding their needs. Now, you can scare a client into purchasing a CellQuicken, and that is stating the hard, cold facts on the table to say that the second or the first leading killer in the world would be cardiovascular. Secondly would be diabetes, and then the next one would be COPD, which is then lung related, or then emphysema. Thirdly would be COPD, which is emphysema basically. So you paint a picture where people are dying from heart attacks from very early ages of 40 and onwards. Secondly, you have people with diabetes. Now, yes, diabetes is a sugar-related issue, but why is it that diabetes has become so common? Well, it comes back down to quality of food. When was the last time that you actually read the label on the side of your food? Have you seen how they actually breed our chickens, our meat? Even when it comes to our corn, starch, and our bread, everything has either been filled with a lot of additional carbohydrates or with sugars to make them tasty and appealing to clients. How much cool drink or carbonated drinks do you make use of? Again, exposure to smoke, not cigarette smoke necessarily, but factories, cars. If you're living in a metropolitan city, you are always exposed to this environment. So again, the question boils down to, how are you going to maintain your current state of health? If you are healthy, will you still be healthy in 20 years from now? If you are unhealthy currently, how unhealthy or healthy would you like to be in 20 years from now? Now, this is a very important question, and this is one of the ways that I take it in. It doesn't matter what type of client I've got with me. The fact of the matter is that we are all living towards an end goal. So we don't just live and decide at the age of 38, well, I've had enough, I'm stopping here, and you get off the bus. No, you will live a specific period in time on earth that is just destined for you to live. So we all start making plans for our old age. We all have dreams and aspirations that we would like to reach by the time that we are 50, 60, and these days even 40. Now, a lot of these plans involve maybe traveling, activities, grandchildren, maybe getting remarried, maybe starting a new adventure, going to climb Everest, or taking up cycling, or getting the farm. And all of these aspirations are very noble, and they give us the motivation to continue living. But the fact of the matter is, how many people do you know that have reached retirement age and actually enjoyed their retirement? We've all heard and read the articles of a wealthy, well-known businessman that has been running 3 multinational corporate companies for the last 20 years, and he finally reached retirement, and 5 days later he dies of a heart attack. It's happened. We live to reach our retirement age. Now, retirement should be a very joyful period in your life. Retirement should be the time where you get to spend and actually see what you've known. Retirement should be the time in your life where you actually go and reap what you sowed. You should be able to do all of the things that you haven't been able to do because you've been getting married, you've been raising children, you've been building a career, you've been studying. All the hard work is now behind you, so the best is yet to come. But the fact of the matter is, old age is not a pretty picture. We all have someone somewhere in a retirement village, old age home, or even in frail care that you don't go and visit as often as you should. When you go and visit them, it's not as fun as it should be, and when you get to speak to them, they tell you the same story over and over and over. These people are crippled by pain and by medication and literally turning around every penny and cent to make it through the month. Now, I don't think that's a very fair way to end your life. If you've spent 40 years building a career, 40 years of working towards what you want to achieve, you should enjoy the last 40 years of your life to do exactly what it is that you want. Now, if you want to start changing your viewpoint about retirement, old age, or even just aging, the Cell Quicken is the device for you. Because again, we go back to your body's basic principle. It's energy. Where the information comes from and the information goes. We start rebuilding and retraining your body and then sustaining and maintaining that level of effectivity throughout. So yes, the Cell Quicken is a device that is expensive. The Cell Quicken is a device that you will use every single day. But the Cell Quicken is... Skus, stop, ek moet net aan 'n beter woord dink daarso. Yes, the Cell Quicken is advanced technology. Yes, the Cell Quicken is something that you would like to use every single day. And yes, the Cell Quicken can and will change your life. But the question is, do you want to change yours? What do you want to have in the next 10 to 15 years? How well do you want to live? Not money, not friends, not emotionally, not geographically, but health-wise. Because at the end of the day, you can have everything and you can lose everything in a matter of a heartbeat. Literally a heartbeat. So I'd advise when you meet with new clients, determine where they are. You can have 3 basic strategies. The first strategy would be to connect with someone and just determine what their viewpoint of health is, how they then measure or know their own health, and should they have existing health conditions, what and how the Cell Quicken is able to then assist them in recovering from that ailment and then maintaining it and actually taking them through for the rest of their lives. Secondly is, if you have a healthy person, that healthy person has already come to the realization that they will need to do more in the future to stay healthy. Thirdly would be the type of client that is in absolute denial in regards to health, their health, and the state of health of their family. So you can either build a path with someone and make them want the future that they've given up on. Secondly, you can make the future a reality of the healthy person that you get to meet. And thirdly, you would cause the wake-up call in that person's life that has not realized the full extent of their current state of health and where they are going to. So those are the 3 basic strategies that you can use, but I do believe that it's about building a relationship, connecting with the person that's in front of you. Bear in mind that the Cell Quicken, again, very valuable point here. Cell Quicken comes with a 10-year warranty. It's not a foot spa. Excuse me. Bear in mind, the Cell Quicken comes with a 10-year warranty. This is not a foot spa or a head massager or a steamer. This is the revolutionary guide to your health, for yourself, for your family, and for your environment. You can even treat your plants, your pets, your fruits and vegetables. The opportunities and the applications are endless. But the device is going to be part of your life for the next 10 years, which means we can turn back the clock on everything and anything and change your future outlook. Then the Cell Quicken also comes with all of the training tutorials, the videos and the software to help your client get started and taking back their own health. It's a self-care system. That's the main reason why some of us reach a point where we give up, we feel helpless, is you've been to every doctor and every specialist, you've tried every single type of medication, and you are still feeling hopeless and in the dark. The Cell Quicken comes with an analysis tool. Like explained previously, the analysis tool will not diagnose you, but it will give you insight into the workings of your body. Now, how better than knowing what your body needs if you know what it doesn't have? We can start working on the unseen because the analysis tool can give us up to a 4-year prediction. You might not have a heart problem yet, but you've had heart problems in the family. You might not have diabetes quite yet, but it might be on its way. You can now really start looking in depth into your own body and your health at home without having to make use of specialists and doctors and running up expensive medical bills to again just use medication, the same medication that everyone else out there is using. You don't need to do the one size fits all anymore. So you've got the Cell Quicken. It's got a 10-year warranty. It's giving you all the training and tutorial videos to get you started. It gives you the ability to start seeing how healthy your body is. And obviously, as soon as you start doing the treatment, you'll be able to start tracking your recovery. This tool is yours to use. You can analyze friends and family at no charge. And then at least, but definitely, one of the most important aspects is we've got the Medical Professionals Network. We've got a team of specialists that are geared in developing and designing treatment plans to treat all of your acute, your chronic diseases, even prevent any of the hereditary diseases that run in your family or the further progression of a serious illness. You've got no reason not to invest today. This is a foolproof life investment that doesn't only pay out when you are old, doesn't only pay out when you have already passed away. This is the investment that starts working today, starts saving you money immediately. And in 10 years from now, looking back at the small investment that you've made today with the Cell Quicken, you would have bought 6 of them had you known more, and you would have given them to friends. So don't miss the opportunity. Take the plunge. Get your Cell Quicken today, and I look forward to seeing you recover and maintain and stay healthy through everything.